Hola, hola! Happy Friday, friends! I'm gonna have hola! Welcome! Happy Friday again! So excited to make fish tacos today. I hope we'll give a chance to. Hi, Pau! Welcome! Hi, everyone! Awesome. We we just had Cinco de Mayo. That it's a small battle that Mexico won. I can't remember the year, but I love how it's so celebrated. Hi, Tommy. Hi, everyone. So in that regard, we chose to share with you how to make authentic Mexican fish tacos. And I'm bringing to you something that or the way I used to have fish tacos at home was always with freshly made tortillas. So it's something that I'm very excited to share with you. It's extremely simple and so maybe even less expensive to do at home and so tasty. So let's jump on it and not go any more time. If you have any questions, please feel free to jump in and ask around here. I'll try to keep track of your questions. Today I'm gonna use blue corn masa. So corn flour or corn masa is the one that we use to make corn tortillas. Earlier today, one of my friends from my team asked about cornmeal. Cornmeal is different, is a lot coarser, and the process they do to get to a corn flour to make corn tortillas is quite different. So I know a few brands out there that have organic corn flour. So yeah, next time you go to the store, you can try to find it in the flour aisle. But yeah, I'm excited. Cool. So I'm gonna flip you over on this side. Perfect. So you have a better view. Great. I have here a cup of corn flour. And I measured out a cup of warm or hot water, whatever you can tolerate with your hands. And this is not super typical of masa making, but I like to add some salt to my flour just to give it a little bit more of flavor. But that's just like a personal thing. So I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and swirl it around so it is evenly distributed. Great. And we won't need, so there's not like a specific down science of how much water you will need. It all depends on the type of flour and just how you're doing. Hi everyone, welcome. We're making fish tacos with tortillas. Awesome. So just keep the water to the side. You can always add more, but it's harder if you don't have any more flour to go back. So it's literally a game. So I'm gonna pour about half of the water and start incorporating the water to the flour, and it starts to crumble. So we're gonna start squeezing it a little bit. I'll lift up my bowl so you can see a little better. So the water pretty much already almost absorbed completely. So that means we need a little bit more water. So like I said, it's not an exact science of like you'll need this much and this much. It will be something that you will have to kind of feel. We're aiming for almost like a Play-Doh consistency, and I'll teach you some tricks on how to know if your dough is ready. So I'm swirling around and playing with it. Where are you all joining us from? Did you enjoy your Cinco de Mayo? I love it that it becomes such a celebration here, which I was not used to. So I'm always happy to celebrate. So okay, so you see our dough is like pretty much almost there. Can you tell that it's like not super moist. It's not sticky. So I think it needs a little bit more water. We'll make a little sample here. So if you roll the dough a little bit and it cracks when you press it like this, it means it needs a little more water. So I'm gonna pour a little more, just a touch, and again squish it around and give it a good kind of like a knead, but it's not kneading like bread. It's just incorporating the moisture and water around everywhere. Cool. So we incorporated the whole water again. We'll grab another little ball and make sure. So you see how now the edges of the patty is nice and like uniform. That's what we're looking for. So I'm gonna let this dough rest on the side. You can put moist towel on top of it and just let it rest. I think it's better if you leave it rest to about 30 minutes to an hour. So I previously made some masa before we got on here. I covered it with a plastic bag, and here we have our little balls. It's more or less like a golf ball. For whoever you just joined, we're making fresh homemade tortillas, corn tortillas, and fish tacos. So stick around. So like I said, I had this dough resting. After it rested for about 30-45 minutes, I rolled it into small like golf balls almost. And here I have my tortilla press. This is a Mexican staple, which is super easy to use. So you can find this in Mexican markets, maybe just in Amazon too. I don't personally love the ones that are made out of plastic because like sometimes the handle can break, and it's just, I prefer the metal ones. But if you have a plastic one at home, I'm sure it works also great. So for making tortillas, you will need a plastic bag. This is a reused Ziploc bag that I cut all the edges except the bottom to keep it together. So literally just went around and cut both sides and like the tougher plastic that's on the top, because I don't need that. And this will fit perfectly into our tortilla press. If you happen to not have a tortilla press, don't worry. You can use a pot or a heavy cast iron to do the same thing. And we are gonna try a couple tortillas with both so you can see it works. Cool. So now that I have my balls here, I'm gonna press it down a little bit so it becomes a bit of like a small burger patty. I'm gonna place it in the middle of my press, put down the plastic on it, and we're gonna press twice. So once on one side, then we'll flip it, and then press the other side. That will help our tortilla to be perfectly round and even on all edges. So now that I have my pan here over like medium to high heat, it's very important to have the right heat when you put your tortilla down, because that will help cook better. So once you have your tortilla in your baggie, you peel off carefully. Can you see there? Okay, so you peel out carefully the top layer of plastic, and then on your hand, you want to do the same. Ooh. It's a little bit thin on the edges, but that's okay. So now we peel off our plastic, and we're gonna drop it down in our pan that's been already hot. And I have my fingers behind like this. So what you'll do is like a swooping motion, so you don't burn your fingers. There you go. That's one. And we'll let it be. Typically when your pan is hot, it just dances around in the comal. So you want to give it a minute. Okay, we'll try another one with the cast iron here. So same thing. You put it over a board. You make a little patty like this. You put it in between the plastic, and you gently press with your cast iron. Try to be uniform, and not quite there. You see it's still pretty thick and big, so maybe you have to apply a little bit more pressure. So that looks very similar to the one we have on the pan. It stays here for about a minute, and you will see how the edges will start to change in color. So once they start cooking in the edges, you know it's time to flip it. Okay, so this is a little bit thicker than the press, but it's okay. You could also like bring it down with make it like thinner with the cast iron, and then maybe with a rolling pin just for an extra thin spot. So there goes number 2. We're gonna flip our tortilla and give it a gentle press. We're gonna do one more so we can have enough for our taco demo. Perfecto. Any questions so far? We're making fish tacos and corn tortillas. Oop. There we go. So 1 cup of masa, or 1 cup of corn flour, is enough for about 8 tortillas, like golf size balls, and this diameter of tortillas. So if you have a bigger family, you can add 2 cups and go scale, or you can also save the masa for making quesadillas or anything else. So there's our tortilla. Again, we're gonna peel off our plastic, bring out the tortilla from the other plastic. Oh, this one's pretty thin, but it's manageable. Whoop. Perfecto. And we're gonna drop it in our hot pan. Okay, I'm gonna flip the first tortilla and give it a press. There's a saying in Mexico that if your tortillas don't inflate, you're not ready for marriage. So I'm already married, thankfully, and I see some flaring up in the tortilla, so that's a very good sign. I'm a good Mexican then. Cool. So here, let me bring you closer and see if you can tell the color difference. The color difference in the edges of the tortilla. So once they start cooking around, we know it's time to flip them. Wonderful. Okay, any questions so far? Hola, everyone who's joining. Cool, perfecto. So, great. I'm gonna cover my masa over here. No questions so far? Cool. Our tortillas are ready. So you can see, it's like poofy, and it got a little bit of crunch there. So we're gonna save it in our handy dandy tortilla keeper. And we're gonna leave them on the side so we can cook our fish. Wonderful. So the other friends are cooking over there. Meanwhile, we're gonna make or prepare our cabbage and the rest of the ingredients for the fish tacos. Awesome. So for the fish tacos in my home, we do like a couple staple things, which is we make a kind of like a dressing crema almost with Greek yogurt and lime mayo. So this is a Chosen Foods lime mayo. You will soon find it in nationwide. So it's just so tasty and so creamy. It just has the right amount of lime flavor. So I love this product. So we're gonna go half or like equal parts lime mayo and Greek yogurt. So I have my Greek yogurt there. Can you see? Better. So our second tortilla is ready too. I'm kind of multitasking here. which is totally fine with me. So hopefully this one inflates a little more. So equal parts lime mayo and Greek yogurt. We'll leave this on the side. I'm gonna add some salt. Hola, Kelsey. I'm so happy, friends. Thank you for joining us. And half of the juice of a lemon. I mean lime. We love putting lime everywhere, so that just adds it, allows it to have a little bit of more texture. So we're gonna give it a good swirl. And that's gonna be the base of our fish taco. So it's gonna be the tortilla, this lovely kind of like dressing or healthy crema. And we're gonna leave this on the side. Perfecto. Our third tortilla is done. It's nice and poofy, and what the poofiness means is that there's vapor in between the two layers cooking the masa, so that's perfect. So we're gonna keep our tortillas nice and warm. Over here I have some cabbage that is very typical for fish tacos in Mexico. We use cabbage instead of lettuce for extra crunchiness. So I already pre-cut some, but I wanted to teach you on the trick on how to cut it super thin. So I cut the cabbage. Sometimes cabbages are gigantic, so I chose this cabbage that wasn't extremely big. It's just easier to manage, but whatever you can get your hands on, we won't be picky. Awesome. So I cut my cabbage in half, and I'm kind of gonna like press my knife against the cabbage and shave it off. So I'm trying to get extremely thin, almost paper thin pieces of cabbage. So you kind of like put your knife against the cabbage and cut down. You see? It's not perfect, but it keeps it nice and crunchy. So that's the way we do that. So I'll put it on the side. And what I like to do is add some cilantro and mint on my cabbage. You can also add some lemon juice to soften it a little bit more. So I'm just gonna do a sprig of mint and some cilantro here. Cool beans. Any questions? Yum! Welcome everyone. Yeah, we're very excited to be here sharing this with you at home. Cool. So I'm gonna give this a quick rinse. Perfecto. Give it a good chop. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't really matter. You just want to have enough to have some brighter green colors pop up in your it's not coleslaw, in your cabbage, shaved cabbage. Cool. So that's enough, and I'm gonna add some mint, a rough chop as well. Yeah, I really like adding like fresh, different flavors that makes your brain go like, whoa, what's that? So tasty. Perfect. So we give our mint a good chop, and you can use the rest on a mojito or something. Cool. We have our herbs there, and with my hand, I'm just gonna give it a good mix. So you have sprigs of cilantro and some mint. Perfecto. I'm gonna now bring our fish out. I have it in the fridge, all ready to go. Awesome. Okay, so the fish I use at home to make fish tacos is rockfish. So I was able to find, I live in San Diego, and there's an amazing fish store It's called Catalina Offshore, and I love, love, love. They always carry the highest quality, so I love going to that store and supporting our local markets, so that's good. I'm gonna turn our pan over here on medium high or high. And I have my fillets like we've discussed in the past. It's important to really dry well your fillets, and that will provide a lot of crunchiness to the outside of the fish fillets. So these they vary in sizes, but these are great sizes. Like you can make smaller pieces before you cook them, but I'm gonna so they cook more evenly, I'm gonna leave them whole, add some salt and some pepper. My pepper's over here. Cool. Ooh. Perfect. We'll allow some time for the pan to heat up. And of course our avocado oil that we all love. You can use a spray or just plain from the bottle. Perfect. So now that I have salt on one side, you can also add any other spices that you'd like. If you'd like to add cayenne pepper for a kick, or paprika, or coriander, which is cilantro seed, anything that you feel that can give your fish more flavor, that works. Cool. So our oil is ready to go. Our pan is hot. So we're gonna lay down the fillet. Make sure you run your fingers through the fish and make sure there's no, like what's it called? It's not thorns. The fish have, you get my point, the little bones. So make sure there's no bones on your fish. I'll add some salt again and pepper. Oh, I wish you could smell my kitchen. So delicious. Perfecto. Awesome. Little bones. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I totally blanked there, but yeah, make sure there's no bones there. So you don't are enjoying your taco and you have like a huge thing coming out. So watch for those. These two fillets have different thickness. So I'm gonna turn the small one. Whee! Well, if it collaborates with me, there we go. Oh, nice. So there we go. That's one fish. Any questions so far, friends? About fish, about the tortillas? Cool. I'll grab a plate. So we'll lay our tortilla, nice and warm and steamy. Delicious. Cool. So hope you can see there. Here's our blue corn tortillas. When I serve a couple tacos, I like to do this to arrange them like a wave almost, so you can see both sides. So I'm gonna put some of the lime, mayo, and Greek yogurt dressing that we made before on each taco. I'm gonna leave the plate on this side so we can get our fish. Nice and crispy. Let me grab paper towel. I am originally from Mexico. I grew up in Mexico and was born here in San Diego. So it's been an amazing mixture of cultures, which I love sharing with everyone. If heat is getting out of control over here. Okay, so we have our piece of fish over here and our plate. So what I'm gonna do is cut my fillet, small fillet, in half and place it over. Ooh, look at that, nice and crispy fillet. Perfect. We'll add some of our shaved cabbage with cilantro and some mint. There we go. And we can cut down some lime to go on top. There's many ways to make fish tacos, but I found this is the easiest and fastest way to do so. So this is what our fish tacos look like. And we're so happy you joined us today. Do you add cheese? Typically, no. My husband always says, like, can I put cheese on this? And I'm like, if you want to. I don't really recommend adding adding cheese to the fish tacos. It's just not the traditional way, but if you want to do it, by all means, if you find it delicious, it's okay too. Any other question before we pop out? Anybody? Cool. So thank you for joining us this Friday. I hope you enjoy your weekend, and I hope you're able to make fresh homemade corn tortillas at home. They taste so much better, and if you have leftover masa, you can save it in the refrigerator for almost a week or very close to that. And yeah, that's it for today, my friends, and thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Oh, cotija cheese, maybe for a spark of intenser salty, but typically we just go for it like this. So enjoy your weekend. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Adios.